The Deer Hunter is a modern classic of American cinema. It's one of my favourite films of the 1970s, and it's 40 years old this year. To celebrate this anniversary, Studiocanal in the UK have decided to release a brand new Blu-ray box set, including for the very first time the film on 4K UHD Blu-ray. And I'm very excited because I've got this set here with me. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you what you get inside this box, and I'm going to tell you whether the technical aspects of the discs are up to scratch, because people are very excited for this film being on 4K, and I know people were very cautiously optimistic about this release. So that's what I'm going to get into in this video. Before I get into the review, if you're new here, my name's Elliot. I'm a Blu-ray collector and an all-round film fan. So if you love videos on Blu-rays and films, don't forget to click the subscribe button below and the bell icon to keep notified of my videos. So on to the review. First, I'm going to talk a bit about the technical aspects of the discs. Then I'm going to show you what you actually get inside the set itself. And thirdly, I'll talk a bit about the film and what my opinions of it are. So on to the technical aspects of the discs in this set. There's a total of 4 discs. The first one is the 4K UHD Blu-ray. The second one is the standard Blu-ray. The third is another Blu-ray with special features. And the fourth is a CD with the soundtrack on it. In terms of the picture quality and audio quality of the film on these discs, we're only going to be interested in those first two, the 4K Blu-ray and the standard Blu-ray. The film underwent a new 4K transfer for those 2 discs, meaning that if you own any of the old Blu-ray releases, such as this one, which is a few years old now, the transfer on those 2 new discs will look much better, trust me. I did a quick comparison with the old Deer Hunter Blu-ray and these 2 new discs, and whether you're watching the new 4K Blu-ray or the standard one, there is a massive upgrade in quality. To speak a bit about the 4K disc in this set, which I think is what a lot of people will be buying this set for, there's an upgrade in quality because of the increase in resolution. There's the addition of HDR, which means that a lot of the colours are more vibrant and the blacks in the frame are much deeper, more solid. The Deer Hunter is a film that I didn't remember being typically very colourful, but in scenes where there are lots of different colours, you really do notice the benefits of HDR on the disc. Because the film was pre-digital, meaning it was shot on film, there is the presence of grain in the picture, but this is great because it leads the film to have a very filmic look. I know a lot of people were worried, including myself, that Studiocanal were going to add some digital smoothing effects like DNR to basically make it look more modern, make it look more crisp and clear, which is not what we want. We want it to look as close as possible to how the original prints would have looked when they were projected. So with that, I can wholeheartedly recommend this set based on the technical aspects alone. This is the best I have ever seen this film look, and it probably is the best it will ever look, really. I think any upgrades in quality beyond this, in terms of resolution, will be very negligible. There's a clear curve of diminishing returns, and I think we're very close to the plateau of how good this film can look. So based off that, you should buy this set in confidence because technically it looks absolutely brilliant, whether you're watching the 4K disc or the standard Blu-ray. Now on to what you get in the set itself. And the first thing I noticed about this set when I picked it up in the shop is that it is very hefty. It's got a weight to it, which is great because it means you get lots of stuff in it. And that you do. It's quite a thick box set. The only qualm I have about the packaging is that the box itself is a thin cardboard box. It's not one of these nice hard card cases that a lot of the boutique labels have been doing lately. But that's honestly my only qualm with this set, so I'll let it slide. So getting the contents out, they are held in there quite tightly, so you do have to give it a bit of a shake. So I'm going to pull this out now. This is where the discs are housed. So this disc case is a fold-out case, so I'll show you now. You get all 4 discs in it. So like I said, the 4K Blu-ray, standard Blu-ray, Blu-ray with special features, and there's the CD soundtrack as well. And on the reverse of that, there is an image from the wedding sequence in the film, which is quite nice. Next thing to pull out of the set is this collector's booklet. So this collector's booklet, it's 60 pages long. You get some notes on the making of the film and all about its production. And then there's some press release notes and some press images inside as well. So I don't know if you can make out any of that, but it's quite nice to have. It's a nice inclusion in the set. The next thing you get in the set is this. This is The Man Who Came to Play script, which is the script that The Deer Hunter was based on, although this Man Who Came to Play, it has nothing to do with war. It was all about Russian roulette in Las Vegas. It's quite an interesting read. I've flicked through it, I've not read it totally, but yeah, it is a full-length script, so you get the whole script here, which is just a nice thing to have. It's nice to see how this got turned into the final film. The last thing you get in the set is some art cards. I'm not the biggest fan of art cards because I don't really have anything to do with them, but maybe you'd want to frame these or stick them on your fridge. I don't know. But you get 5 of them, they're just in black and white and they're just some stills from the film. On the third disc, there is a wealth of bonus material, and I did have a look at all of these, and I'm going to have to go back to some of them because there is just so much on this, but it includes, there's an interview with film critic David Thompson, which is brilliant. I love hearing David Thompson talk about films and the history of cinema. He's such a knowledgeable guy in those terms. There's an interview with Michael Cimino from the 1979 ITV South Bank show, which is great. And then there's another interview with Cimino called Realising the Deer Hunter. There's one with Vilma Zsigmond called Shooting the Deer Hunter. There's one with John Savage. John Savage is brilliant in this film as well, called Playing the Deer Hunter. There's an audio commentary with Cimino as well, which is so insightful. You have to check that out if you get this. And there's another commentary as well with Vilma Zsigmond and the journalist Bob Fisher, which I haven't fully listened to that, but yeah, there's just so much on this. And there's some deleted and extended scenes as well. So what a packed bonus material disc. To have the fourth disc as the CD soundtrack as well is actually a really nice touch, because if you've seen The Deer Hunter, you know how good that soundtrack is. Now, a bit about The Deer Hunter itself. This film is epic, and I mean epic in the classical literary sense of the word, because it's a film about people who we see their environment and their basic lives before they go on a journey. We then see them undertake a journey, which on this journey they go somewhere, discover something new about themselves and about life as a whole, and then they return to their home environment and try to assimilate what they've learnt with their previous lives. The Deer Hunter follows that structure perfectly, using war as a means of the journey, and it also perfectly shows their home environment both before and after these guys go to war. Even though the subject of The Deer Hunter is war and how war affects people's lives, I don't consider it a war film, because it's not all about the battles and it's not all about winning or losing. It's just all about how war affects ordinary people. The direction in The Deer Hunter from Michael Cimino is visually stunning. He wanted to create a very lifelike feel to the film, so he chose to shoot it in an almost documentary style fashion. He wanted to have as many characters on screen at once to make it feel like they are part of a community and part of a family. So that's why he shot it in the widescreen format, so he could fit as many people on the screen as possible at once. This is aided by the brilliant cinematography of Vilma Zsigmond. Vilma Zsigmond is a master of the camera and of light. He worked a lot in the late 70s and early 80s with another of my favourite directors, which is Robert Altman. He gave such a natural and almost gritty beauty to those films, and any film shot by him I think looks amazing. So The Deer Hunter is included in that. How can I talk about The Deer Hunter without talking about that cast, which includes great names like Robert De Niro, Christopher Walken, Meryl Streep, and the great John Cazale, who only did 5 films in his lifetime before he was tragically taken from us by cancer. But those 5 films he did were all nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars, which includes The Deer Hunter, the first 2 Godfather movies, Dog Day Afternoon, and The Conversation. Like, what an incredible breadth of work that he did in that time. What's so beautiful about John Cazale and Meryl Streep in this film is, at the time of the making of The Deer Hunter, they were in a relationship together and they loved each other very much, but they knew that John was terminally ill and that he wasn't going to last much longer. And Meryl wanted to spend as much time with him as possible, so that's how she got the role in this film. Before The Deer Hunter, she wasn't a big actress like she is today. It was this film that really set her on the path, and she got the role just because she wanted to spend as much time with John, and Michael Cimino thought it was good for them to be together, and she ended up kind of stealing the show in a way. Her role was meant to be a very normal, subservient girlfriend type character, and she took that and she gave it a bit of a spin and turned it into the brilliant performance that we can watch in the film today. I have to talk a bit about Robert De Niro because this might be his best performance of all time. Yes, better than The Godfather and Taxi Driver and Goodfellas and Raging Bull and all of those. This might be the one. Particularly in all of the war scenes and the post-war scenes. You know, the range he has is just astonishing. Like, his performance is so empathetic that you just have to feel for him, which makes the film ultimately so heartbreaking. Okay, so that's it. That's my review of this Deer Hunter 4K Blu-ray set. I hope I've covered everything because I just had so much to say about this. If you've got any questions about what I've talked about in this video, please do leave them in the comments below because I'm happy to give you any more information on the film or the set if you want it. So yeah, do leave a comment. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for sticking around, and I will be back with more videos on Blu-rays very soon.